Have you ever sat in your favorite chair, the TV humming in the background, and suddenly realized you feel completely alone? Maybe your house feels too quiet now, or your friends aren't around as much as they used to be. And even when you're around people, you still feel a little disconnected. Like you're just going through the motions. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know something important. You are not alone in feeling this way. Loneliness is something so many of us experience as we get older, but here's the good news: it doesn't have to stay that way. There are simple, surprising ways to feel connected again, to fill your days with warmth and meaning, no matter your age. Today, I'm going to share 5 powerful ways to beat loneliness after 65. These aren't the usual join a club or call a friend tips, though those can help too. These are unexpected, deeply effective strategies that can help you feel truly seen, valued, and connected again. And the best part? They're all things you can start doing today. So let's dive in. The first way to fight loneliness is something you might not expect. 1. Reconnect with your younger self. When was the last time you did something just because it brought you joy? Not because it was practical, not because someone else wanted you to, just because it made you happy? So many of us, as we get older, start to forget the things that once lit us up inside. Maybe you love painting but haven't touched a brush in years. Maybe you used to dance in the kitchen when your favorite song came on, but now you barely turn on the radio. That spark, that little piece of you that knows how to have fun, is still there. And reconnecting with it can be one of the most powerful ways to feel alive again. Here's how to start. Think back to one thing you loved doing when you were younger, something simple, something that made time fly by. Maybe it was gardening, writing letters, playing an instrument, or even building model airplanes. Then, give yourself permission to do it again, just for fun. Don't worry about being good at it. This isn't about achievement, it's about joy. When you do things that light you up inside, something amazing happens. You start attracting people who share that same spark. A woman in one of our workshops started painting again at 72, just for herself. Within a few months, she'd met a whole group of local artists who invited her to join their weekly meetups. She didn't set out to make friends, she just wanted to enjoy herself. But by reconnecting with her own joy, she naturally found connection, too. 2. Create small, daily rituals of connection. Loneliness isn't always about being physically alone, it's about feeling unseen. And one of the simplest ways to feel seen is to create tiny moments of connection in your everyday life. Think about the people you cross paths with regularly, the cashier at the grocery store, the mail carrier, the neighbor you wave to but never really talk to. These small interactions might seem insignificant, but they're actually powerful anchors of connection. The key is to go beyond the automatic "how are you?" and instead share something real. For example, instead of just saying good morning to your neighbor, try adding one genuine detail: good morning. I saw the roses in your garden blooming. They're absolutely beautiful this year. Or tell the cashier, you always make my day brighter with your smile. These tiny exchanges take seconds, but they remind you, and them, that you're both here, both part of each other's world. One gentleman I spoke to started doing this after his wife passed away. He told me, at first, I just didn't want to feel invisible. But now, those little conversations, they've become the highlight of my day. The barista at the coffee shop knows my name. The librarian saves books she thinks I'll like. It's not the same as deep friendship, but it's warmth. And warmth matters. Now, these first 2 strategies are all about rediscovering joy and creating small moments of connection. But what if you're ready for something deeper? What if you want to build real, lasting friendships later in life? Well, that's where our next strategy comes in, and it might surprise you. You know, one of the biggest myths about loneliness is that it's just about not having enough people around. But the truth? Some of the loneliest moments happen in crowded rooms, when you feel like no one really sees you. That's why our next strategy isn't about adding more acquaintances to your life, it's about creating the kind of connections that make you feel truly understood. 3. Share your story, and let others share theirs. Think about the last time someone really listened to you, not just nodded along, but listened. Maybe they asked about your childhood or what life was like when you were their age. How did that feel? Like a weight lifting off your shoulders, like you mattered? Here's the secret: people want to hear your stories. Your grandkids, that nice woman at your exercise class, even younger neighbors, they crave that connection to the past, to wisdom they can't find on Google. But often, we hold back because we worry we're rambling or that no one's interested. I'm here to tell you, they are. Try this: next time you're with someone, even if it's just a phone call with a relative, share one small memory. Not a lecture, just a moment. That reminds me of the time back when I was your age, we used to. You'll be amazed how conversations blossom when you give them a little piece of your history. And here's the magic part: after you share, ask them a question in return. What's your favorite memory from school? Or tell me about something that made you laugh this week. Because connection is a two-way street, and when you open the door, others will walk through it. A viewer named Martha wrote to me about this. She'd been feeling isolated after moving to a retirement community until she started telling stories at dinner. Now the whole table leans in when I talk about dancing at USO clubs in the 50s, she said. And I've learned so much about their lives too. Turns out, we've all got stories that can light up a room. 4. Find your tribe in unexpected places. Now, you might be thinking, easier said than done, where do I even find these people? Here's the thing: your next great friend probably isn't waiting at a senior social hour, though those can be lovely. They're in the places where your interests live. Love birds? Skip the generic over 60s meetup and join a local bird watching group. Miss working with your hands? See if the community college has woodworking classes. Many offer senior discounts. When you connect over something you genuinely care about, friendships grow naturally. No forced small talk, just shared passion. And don't rule out friendships with younger generations. A 78-year-old named Jim told me he felt invisible until he started volunteering at a teen robotics club. Those kids don't care how old I am, he laughed. They just want me to help solder circuits. Now I get texts like, "Mr. J, can you come to our competition Saturday?" Feels like I've got a whole new family. The key is to think beyond age and focus on aliveness. Where does your curiosity lead you? That's where your people are. Now, these 4 strategies can transform loneliness into connection, but there's one more that might be the most powerful of all. It's not about looking outward, but inward. There's a kind of loneliness that doesn't go away, no matter how many people surround you. It's the loneliness that comes when you've lost touch with yourself, when the days start to blur together, and you realize you've been living on autopilot. That's why our final strategy isn't about finding others, it's about coming home to yourself. 5. Cultivate a friendship with yourself. When was the last time you took yourself out on a date? Not running errands, not doing chores, just enjoying your own company like you would with a dear friend. We spend so much of our lives caring for others, children, spouses, aging parents, that many of us never learned how to be good company for ourselves. But here's the truth: the relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for every other connection in your life. If that relationship is nourishing, you'll attract deeper friendships. If it's neglectful, well, that's when loneliness creeps in, even in a crowded room. Try this: once a week, block out 2 hours for what I call a soul date. Take yourself to that little cafe you love, pack a picnic for the park, or simply sit outside with a great book. The rules? No chores allowed, no guilt permitted. Just you, doing something that makes your heart feel light. At first, it might feel strange, even lonely. But over time, you'll start to rediscover the pleasure of your own thoughts, your own rhythm. And something miraculous happens when you do. You become someone others want to be around, because you're radiating contentment rather than searching for it. A viewer named Evelyn shared how this changed everything for her. After her husband passed, she couldn't stand eating alone, until she started setting her table beautifully every night, lighting a candle, and putting on jazz like they used to. "Now I look forward to my dinners," she said. "Sometimes I invite neighbors, but sometimes I don't. Both feel good now." That's the power of befriending yourself. Let's take a quiet moment to let this settle in. Beating loneliness isn't about scrambling to fill every hour with people, it's about creating connections that matter, starting with the one you have with yourself. Reconnect with what lights you up. Share your stories. Seek out kindred spirits in unexpected places. Create those tiny moments of warmth with strangers who cross your path. And most importantly, remember that you are someone worth knowing, worth listening to, whether you're in a room full of people or sitting peacefully with your own thoughts. I'd love to hear which of these strategies resonated with you most. Maybe you've already tried something like this, or maybe one idea sparked something new. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if this video helped you, do me a favor, hit that like button, and subscribe if you haven't already. Every week, we share practical, uplifting ways to thrive in these later years, because you deserve to feel connected, valued, and fully alive at every age. Until next time, remember this, the world needs exactly who you are. Here's to living these years with joy, with meaning, and with just the right amount of wonderful mischief.